Human behavior is economic behavior. The particulars may vary, but competition for limited resources remains a constant. Need as well as greed have followed us to the stars, and the rewards of wealth still await those wise enough to recognize this deep thrumming of our common pulse. CEO Nwabuda K. Morgan, the Centauri Monopoly. Resources exist to be consumed, and consumed they will be, if not by this generation, then by some future. By what right does this forgotten future seek to deny us our birthright? None, I say. Let us take what is ours, chew and eat our fill. CEO Nwabuda K. Morgan, The Ethics of Greed. Energy is the currency of the future. CEO Nwabuda K. Morgan, The Centauri Monopoly. Our first challenge is to create an entire economic infrastructure from top to bottom out of whole cloth. No gradual evolution from previous economic systems is possible because there is no previous economic system. Each interdependent piece must be materialized simultaneously and in perfect working order. Otherwise, the system will crash out before it ever gets off the ground. CEO Nwabuda K. Morgan, The Centauri Monopoly. You ivory tower intellectuals must not lose touch with the world of industrial growth and hard currency. It is all very well and good to pursue these high-minded scientific theories, but research grants are expensive, and you must justify your existence by providing not only knowledge, but concrete and profitable applications as well. CEO Nwabuda K. Morgan, The Ethics of Greed.
In the borehole pressure mines 100 kilometers beneath planet's surface, at the Mohorovičić discontinuity where crust gives way to mantle, temperatures often reach levels well in excess of 1,000 degrees Celsius. Exploitation of planet's resources under such brutal conditions has required quantum advances in robotic and teleoperational technology. Morgan Industries Limited Annual Report.
Fossil fuels in the last century reached their extreme prices because of their inherent utility. They pack a great deal of potential energy into an extremely efficient package. If we can but sidestep the 100 million year production process, we can corner this market once again. CEO Nwabuda K. Morgan, Strategy Session. Of course, we'll bundle our MorganNet software with the new network nodes. Our customers expect no less of us. We have never sought to become a monopoly. Our products are simply so good that no one feels the need to compete with us.
Richard Baxton piloted his Recon rover into a fungal vortex and held off 4 waves of mindworms, saving an entire colony. We immediately purchased his identity manifests and repackaged him into the Recon rover Rick character with a multi-tiered media campaign. Televids, touchbooks, holos, sci-tours, the works. People need heroes. They don't need to know how he died clawing his eyes out, screaming for mercy. The real story would just hurt sales and dampen the spirits of our customers. Mythology for Profit. Morgan Stellar Tott's keynote speech.
Those who don't believe we can create the perfect man or woman out of pixels and light overestimate the capacity of their senses. J. Croft, Morgan Starworks Limited.
Important? Yes. Critical? Absolutely. I would go so far as to say that superconducting fiber alone makes our present economy possible. CEO Nwabuda K. Morgan, Morgan Link 3D Vision live interview.
It will happen, and it will happen in our lifetimes. Fusion power isn't just the future. Fusion power is now. T.M. Morgan Riley, Morgan Metagenics. Organic superlube? Oh, it's great stuff, great stuff. You really have to keep an eye on it, though. It'll try and slide away from you the first chance it gets. T.M. Morgan Riley, Morgan Metagenics.
As I stepped onto the mag tube, a thought struck me. Can there be friction where there is no substance? And can substance be tricked into hiding from itself? Dr. Gail Nambala, Morgan Industries researcher.
Optical computers, genetic catalogs, nano repair modules, forget all of that. It's when you see a megaton of steel suspended over your head by a thread the thickness of a human hair that you really find God in technology. Anonymous Metagenics dock worker, Morgan Link 3D Vision live interview. What goes up? Better doggone well stay up. Morgan Gravitonics, company slogan.
We estimate that during the next mission century, most of planet's industries will be moved off-planet to Nessus Prime and other orbital facilities. Many of our industries will benefit greatly from the low-gravity environments available in space, particularly those involving genetically engineered microbes. CEO Nwabuike Morgan, the Centauri Monopoly. Planet's primary, Alpha Centauri A, blasts unimaginable quantities of energy into space each instant, and virtually every joule of it is wasted entirely. Incomprehensible riches can be ours if we but stretch our arms wide enough to dip from this eternal river of wealth. CEO Nwabuike Morgan, the Centauri Monopoly. Some civilian workers got in among the research patients today and became so hysterical I felt compelled to have them nerve stapled. The consequence, of course, will be another public relations nightmare, but I was severely shaken by the extent of their revulsion towards a project so vital to our survival. CEO Nwabuike Morgan, the personal diary. Objects once measured in meters have become so small that they cannot be seen by the naked eye, with revolutionary applications across the board. Gentlemen, forget what your courtesans have told you. Size does matter. CEO Nwabuike Morgan, Morgan Industries Annual Report. Look at any photograph or work of art. If you could duplicate exactly the first tiny dot of color, and then the next, and the next, you would end with a perfect copy of the whole, indistinguishable from the original in every way, including the so-called moral value of the art itself. Nothing can transcend its smallest element. CEO Nwabuike Morgan, The Ethics of Greed.
Abort, retry, fail was the phrase some wormdog scrawled next to the door of the Edit Universe project room. And when the new data spinners started working, fabricating their worlds on the huge organic comp systems, we'd remind them, if you see this message, always choose retry. Badal Ron, Wakener, Morgan Polysoft. We are no longer particularly in the business of writing software to perform specific tasks. We now teach the software how to learn, and in the primary bonding process, it molds itself around the task to be performed. The feedback loop never really ends, so a 10th year polysentience can be a priceless jewel or a psychotic wreck. But it is the primary bonding, the childhood if you will, that has the most far-reaching repercussions. Badal Ron, Wakener, Morgan Polysoft. Yes, we've all heard the philosophers babble about oneness being beautiful and holy. But let me tell you that this kind of oneness certainly isn't pretty, and if you're not careful, it will scare the bejesus out of you. Anonymous lab technician, Morgan Link 3D Vision live interview.
And when at last it is time for the transition from megacorporation to planetary government, from entrepreneur to emperor, it is then that the true genius of our strategy shall become apparent. For energy is the lifeblood of this society, and when the chips are down, he who controls the energy supply controls planet. In former times, the energy monopoly was called the Power Company. We intend to give this name an entirely new meaning. CEO Nwabuduke Morgan, the Centauri Monopoly.
Hey! Get off my land, you peacekeeping son of a...
I plan to live forever, of course. But barring that, I'd settle for a couple thousand years. Even 500 would be pretty nice. CEO Nwabuduke Morgan, Morgan Link 3D Vision interview. Life is merely an orderly decay of energy states, and survival requires the continual discovery of new energy to pump into the system. He who controls the sources of energy controls the means of survival. CEO Nwabuduke Morgan, the Centauri Monopoly.